The Fugitive. They're going to remake The Fugitive. Harrison Ford classic. What's up, bro? You know everybody loves a good remake, so let's look at some of those 80 classic movies that are being remade. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you. And I removed the ugliest hat ever made by mankind. What are we going to talk about today? Well, I'm going to pull up a list here of movies that are being remade. 80s, well, not just 80s classic. Mostly I'm going to look at 80 ones from the 80s that we grew up on, but there'll probably be some others scattered in here. Now, some of the articles I found of listing movies coming up are maybe a year old, so some of these movies may have been already released, and some of them may have already been dropped. The whole plan may be scrapped, who knows. But the first list I saw was from 2013, so I'm not about to read that one. It's more of a laid back video. I'm just going to look at the screen here and tell you about them. I was going to put this on the second channel because I didn't know if it fit in here, but we'll put it up here and see how people react to it. Again, if you don't know the second channel, it's more of me just goofing off, just talking to the camera, just doing stuff that doesn't really fit in this channel. Like I did a review of Once Upon a Time in America. So check that other channel out. Links in the description below. But let's get to it. Let's go to Den of Geeks first from November 2018. I don't know about you, man. I'm not a big fan of remakes, but it seems like when they come out, if it looks good, they'll get me to go see them before probably something else. So I'm one of those people, I bet you complain, oh, they're making another remake, but then, at least if the trailer looks good, unlike Ghostbusters, I'll run out and see it. So let's look at the first one on this list here. Sorry, this website's really slow here, so. See, I kind of glanced at this list, but I hadn't looked at everything yet. Apparently, they're going to reboot Ace Ventura. How can you reboot Ace Ventura? And didn't they try with a little fat kid, Ace Ventura Jr.? Following the failure of Ace Ventura Jr. in the animated series, they're back again doing it. Morgan Creek's going to do the early years of Ace Ventura. You can't remake Ace Ventura. You can do a sequel, but Jim Carrey, you can't have somebody else. I'm not the biggest Jim Carrey fan in the world, but that movie was written just for him, for his type of comedy, his wacky faces and everything. You can't remake Ace Ventura. Sorry. I guess it's not really technically a remake. It's going to be a prequel. And isn't that what we need? A prequel to Ace Ventura. I mean, come on here. God, dang, this website is a little slow. Aladdin. We already know about Aladdin. What? Alien Nation, one of the greatest science fiction films of the 80s. The 1988 film starring James Caan is going to be remade by the Iron Man writers. Well, I like Iron Man. I'm not a big Marvel movie fan, but I do like Iron Man. So that gives me a little bit of hope. Alien Nation, maybe I could see it working today. You know, there's some movies, I think if they can put a new spin on it or update it, it might work as a remake. Alien Nation, my first thought was Alien Nation, classic. But I'm willing to give it a chance and see what it looks like here. Next up, An American Werewolf in London. It's being remade by the guys that make Walking Dead. I'm not feeling this one here, guys. American Werewolf is in London is a classic horror / like comedy kind of. They tried to do a sequel, didn't they? American Werewolf in Paris. Didn't see it. I heard it wasn't that good as the original. I don't really think they can bring anything fresh and new here. American Werewolf in London, to me, is a movie of its time. And it's John Landis. I mean, who out there thinks they can do movies better than John Landis? Let's see what we got. The Batman. Guess that doesn't count as a remake. Batman. This here says Ben Affleck's in it, so I think this is old news. I'm sick of Batman. Batman's my favorite comic book superhero. But I'm so sick about hearing, is Affleck going to be Batman? Are they going to make Batman? Is Ben Affleck coming back to Batman? I don't like Ben Affleck as Batman. I didn't like Justice League. Batman with his big old tank armor outfit on. Too big and bulky. I just want a simple Batman back like when You know, Batman Begins, Dark Knight, all that. That's what I want a Batman like that. I'm looking forward for the Joker movie, that's for sure. Okay. They're making Big Trouble in Little China. You remaking John Carpenter movies. News broke that their work. Kurt Russell has given his blessing and wishes the project good luck. Dwayne Johnson, I can see him in the part, kinda, but did you have to put him in everything? I don't know. You can't touch. I'd much rather see a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China. And what they're going to give it some kind of wacky name too. They're not going to call it Big Trouble in Little China. They'll call it Little Trouble in Big China, or Big Trouble in Huge China, or Big Trouble in. They'll probably change China to something. Big Trouble in Little America. Big Trouble in Little Honduras or something. They're going to change the title. Watch and see. Blade. News dropped about Blade, so I'm not going to really talk about that. I never saw the original Blade. Don't really care that much about Blade. They want to remake it. They can. Con Air director is back to remake The Blob. Hadn't this movie been remade already? The Blob. Isn't that kind of what the thing is? I don't got much to say about that. They're going to be a remake of the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic. Classic. If you say so, Dinner Geeks. Bloodsport. I guess so. I can't. Again, I never saw Bloodsport, so I can't really talk about that one. They're going to make Blue Thunder. Does anybody even remember Blue Thunder? I mean, this is when you know you're out of ideas. Now, I'm not saying Blue Thunder's bad and all that stuff. I'm just saying they probably could do the same type of movie and just call it something else. It's more like, hey, a lot of people have forgotten about Blue Thunder. Let's take that script, dust it off, rewrite it a little bit, and put it back out there and probably call it Blue Lightning Bolt or something. Blue Thunder. I mean, come on. Candyman. Didn't they already remake Candyman? Made this old news. Car Wash. They're gonna remake a movie that stars Richard Pryor and has George Carlin in it. In today's time, in today's offended culture, they're gonna redo Car Wash. No, it's gonna be horrible. No, you can't redo Car Wash. No, didn't Ice-T and Snoop Dogg or somebody already try to do like their version of a Car Wash reboot? Ain't having it. Charlie's Angels. I went to see Once Upon a Time in America, and they showed the trailer to this new Charlie's Angels movie. And this looks like the worst garbage I've seen, or the worst trailer I've seen since the female reboot of Ghostbusters. Now, I wasn't a big Ghostbusters fan, so when they remade it all girls, it didn't upset me like some. But I tell you what, it did. It kind of upset me, and I refused to see it because they didn't keep it in the same universe. That was my problem with it, that they didn't keep it in the same universe, although I never really was a Ghostbusters fan. Not that I didn't like it. I didn't even see the Ghostbusters all from beginning to end until like 6 months ago. So I didn't hate it. I just never really got into it because I never really watched it. But this Charlie's Angels movie, whew. Let me throw up a clip of the trailer up here for you. It looked...
How'd that feel? Because it looked like it felt really good.
That felt nice. Be in it together, but don't call me
Angel. I'd rather a runaway dog just poop on my face. I mean, come on. Chucky, we know about Chucky remake already. Okay, this website's been... Cliffhanger! The Stallone classic Cliffhanger is getting remade. I don't even need a sequel to this. The guys that oversaw the reboot of Total Recall, you know how that one turned out, and 21 Jump Street is going to do a remake reboot of Cliffhanger. Remake or reboot? What's the difference here? I guess remake is when you tell almost the same story. Reboot is probably the same characters and everything, but the story is a lot different. But still, Cliffhanger. Do we really need a reboot of Cliffhanger? I'm not saying Cliffhanger was a pretty good movie, but again, I think it's a movie of its time. Clue. I don't know what to say about it. Clueless. I would tell you more, but the website's taking forever to load. Come on, Dino Geeks. Damn, Clueless remake. I didn't even want to see Clueless when it first came out. Clueless was already a remake of Emma. Well, that makes me not even want to see Clueless even more. I don't know what Emma is, but it sounds horrible. Clueless. Come on. Stupid can you get? Creature of the Black Lagoon. Yeah, maybe it's time to update that guy. He had to have a good update in a long time. Okay, let me wait on Dino Geeks to upload. Oh, Jesus. The Crow, I'll believe that when I see it. I've been hearing about a Crow remake for 25 years. I heard about a Crow remake before the original Crow even came out. That's how long. I'll believe that when I see it. If it can be done right, I can see a remake of the Crow. Das Boot. I don't wear boots, so I don't care nothing about that. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, that's already come and flopped and moved on. Everybody already forgot about that. Don't Look Now, I don't know what that is. Dumbo already came out, and who cared? Let's see what? Okay, let me wait on Den of Geeks. It's not my website. It's not my Wi-Fi. Every other site's loading. What? Just rebooted. I'll never go to Den of Geeks again. Okay, let me see where I was. At least it ain't a slideshow. There's nothing worse than a website that's a slideshow, is there? Okay, let me see where I was. What was the last we did? Okay, let's go back to the list now. Let's see, I talked about Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Dumbo, I talked about Dune. I heard they're making a reboot of Dune. I'm interested in how that's going to go. My problem, I bet they spent a lot of money to make Dune. I bet it looks amazing in the trailer. I bet it's probably a pretty darn good movie. And I bet nobody goes sees it. That's my prediction right now. It's going to be a good movie. It's going to look awesome. And people's not going to go see it because nobody in Dune wears a cape. Okay, let's see. Dungeons and Dragons. Is this based on the cartoon? Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, it's made by Hasbro. So this is not a movie. This is just a way to sell some toys. Escape from New York. Come on. What are they trying to replace Kirk Russell? Come on. So another John Carpenter movie they're going to remake. Snake Plissken's is back, but this time Planet Terror. Robert Rodriguez. Now, I love Robert Rodriguez, but come on, has he done anything really that good in the last 5 years or more? Escape from New York. I never saw the sequel, Escape from L.A. I need to see that. I heard it was mostly just a remake also. Any Which Way But Loose. Again, a movie, a product of its time. Not saying it's a bad movie. I loved I loved Any Way But Loose when I was a kid, and I even loved Any Which Way You Can, but come on, Hollywood. Flash Gordon. Now, see, I don't know if this is going to be a remake of the original Flash Gordon movie, well, not the original, the 80s movie, or its own Flash Gordon movie. I don't want to see a remake of that story. I would just want to see, I would be happy with a Flash Gordon movie that has nothing to do with the original. Come on. Friday the 13th. Oh, brother. Hasn't you remade that a billion times? The Fugitive. The Fugitive. They're going to remake The Fugitive. Harrison Ford classic. Now I can see it being rebooted into a Netflix series or something. I know it's based on an original series. Come on. Do you really need another Fugitive? Who's going to... Oh. Killing me, Hollywood. This is why I don't go to the movies anymore. Oh. Gremlins. I know. Gremlins 3. Of course, the big news is it still actually happened. Since the project has been on and off for pretty much a decade. Since Gremlins 2 came out, we find it hard to believe we'll ever see it. Give me a Gremlins 3. I'll go see a Gremlins 3 if it looks good. Don't reboot Gremlins. Come on now. Headhunters. I don't know what that is. Hellboy I never cared about. Highlander. Love the original Highlander, but they just made me not care about Highlander over the years. Sorry. Know What You Did Last Summer. Nobody cared about that crap when it came out the first time. Jacob's Ladder. God, that was horrible. I went to the movie and saw Jacob's Ladder. I was hoping everybody forgot about that. Jacob's Ladder. Oh, God, that sounds gross. Well, maybe if you could take a bad movie, reboot it, and make it better. Remember when they remade Flatliners? I love Flatliners. Lion King, this is old list. We know about Lion King. Little Shop of Horrors. Little Women. I think that's been remade about 1 billion times. The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. That's like a classic. Well, I guess it depends on does it say who's doing it? No, the guys that made Mystic River. Now, one of my favorite cowboy westerns is True Grit, and they did remake True Grit and made it really good. But then again, look who made that. It was the Coen brothers. So, Masters of the Universe. Now, this is called a reboot. I don't really call this a reboot. From my understanding, it's just a new Masters of the Universe movie. It's not based on the original movie. It's just based on Masters of the Universe. I don't really count that as a reboot. Fucking Pumpkinhead. Nobody cares about a Pumpkinhead. I don't know what Red Sonja is. Resident Evil. I think there's like 40 million of those. No, you're not. You're remaking Night of the Comet. Oh, you gotta remake everything from my childhood. Can't I have my childhood movies just be my childhood movies? Do I need? Oh, I love Night of the Comet. Which one? The one for 2021 or the one from 1988? She's All That. I don't care. I don't know what that is. Short Circuit. Short Circuit was a classic. Nobody talks about I can't even say it. Nobody talks about it anymore. Move on. I can't even say it. Stargate. Maybe if you do it right, I can see that. Stuart Little. Nobody cares about no Stuart Little. Time Cop. I mean, really? Time Cop. Valley Girl. Do you really have to remake Valley Girl? It's probably going to be an all-female reboot, too. White Men Can't Jump. I don't even know what to say about this stuff anymore. Oh, God. You ready for this one? They're going to reboot Wargames. They already did a sequel that I bet was horrible and had nothing to do with the original, but they slapped 2 on it just so you go see it. Oh, excuse me, 2.0, I think. Wargames. Now, hold on now. Wargames can be done right if someone tries to make it a good movie. But they'll go over the top with it, where David Lightman will have all this computer stuff in his room that no average teenager, or no teenager at all, not even a millionaire teenager has. They'll have like hologram screens that he pulls down from the wall. And being he's a hacker, you know they're going to give him a skateboard. I don't know what it is about Hollywood, but I think every hacker has to have a skateboard. I'm up for a Wargames reboot. I love Wargames. I'm up for a Wargames reboot if they do it right. If they make it realistic. If they show what a kid has in his room nowadays. But no, you know they're going to do some hologram stuff. He's going to pull this down, pull this down. They're going to overdo it and make it horrible, I'm sure. But hey, I can't have hopes, right? Well, let's see. I think I'm about done with this list here. I'm just going through to make sure I didn't miss anything. Fuck. They're gonna remake Roadhouse. I can't take this shit no more. Come on, Fred. Fucking Roadhouse. They gotta take everything I love, everything I grew up on, you just shit all over it, make horrible remakes of it. Here's a look at tomorrow's video.
A 200-foot fall with no airbag, no net to stop him. How was it done? Well, with great ingenuity.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.